Well, good evening, gang, and welcome to It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I'm your host. And to my right and to your left, of course, is the lovely Valerie Eliason. Hello, Val.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And we're coming to you live from our beautiful studios here at BNN-TV. And you're more than welcome to join us if you'd like. We're at 617-708-3290. And it's great to have Davey and the gang in the other room answering phones. So if you want to join us, please feel free to give us a call. Let us know what's happening in your artful life. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
How was your holiday? I thought I'd jump in.
My holiday was good. How was your Friday?
You know, it was an incredible Friday. I recorded in the studio for about 2.5, 3 hours, finishing up a CD that I've been working on for over a year. I finally got some finished vocals done, and that was about it. You know,
that was about it? That's it? Nothing else?
These guys threw a big surprise birthday party for me. It was really, really exciting, and they really did get me. That was, you got me.
Janice made some magic happen.
Oh, it was unbelievable. All those people in the house. And I got kicked out of the house at 4:30 to go to Low Budget Records to do some work, and then I was back at 7. And now that I'm thinking about it, you know, we had these vocals to do, and I went in and I kind of nailed a couple of them right away. And Tim was, I can see he's scurrying for things to fill up the time. But we got it done, and it was...
We were getting nervous you were going to recognize some of the cars outside the house.
Once I'm done, when I'm done in the studio, you have some brushes with you. You want to come home and sit downstairs and listen to them and see what you think on different speakers. And I didn't get a chance to do that, but no, it was. I'm so grateful for the friends and people in my life. It was really, really exciting to see. And people that I played with back in the late 70s and 80s were there. You know, and it was like, wow, how did she do this? Seeing Johnny Sneakers Carasy, who's one of the greatest songwriters and singers that I've ever had the pleasure to work with. Bruce Litkoff, an incredible guitarist who I haven't seen or played with in years, were there. And of course, all of my friends and family. It was fun. And you, family member, were there. It was great.
Of course.
So what did you do for Easter? Did you do anything exciting?
Yeah, I had...
did Klaus have a nice Easter?
Klaus Day had a wonderful...
Now, I'm telling everybody that your rabbit is 45 pounds. Is that how big he is?
He's 20. He's 20 pounds.
That's a big rabbit. Think about it.
It's like the size of a corgi.
That's a big rabbit.
He grunts. It's a little jarring sometimes. But yeah, well, Klaus and I had a great time. Got to see some of my family.
Excellent, that's good.
Got to
Did you get out to Western Mass to see Mom?
No, went down to Rhode Island actually.
Oh, okay, good,
to see family down there. Helped one of my friends, actually that you've met, Miles Benson.
Yes, I know Miles.
That's been on here a couple times. He's putting together a film for one of his film classes.
Okay.
It was kind of the concept of Klaus the rabbit turning into a person.
That's what I saw pictures for.
That was me, and then me turning back into the rabbit.
I saw.
So we had some fun filming around the apartment and whatnot. It was a really good time.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, we got over to my sister's house, and Sunday was my mom's birthday yesterday.
Yep.
And so we got to go over there and have a real nice Easter sit-down dinner with the fabulous Rebecca and obviously super producer Janice and David Kulick, who is one of the great session drummers in the city, who's my brother-in-law and my sister. It was good. It was very good to actually sit down in a room and kind of relax and catch up and be together as a family on Easter. It was nice.
Good.
Yeah, I'm glad that I did it. We did it that way.
And you did the egg hunt, right?
Saturday, I want to say congratulations to Rosendale Village Main Streets. They did an incredible job. We had an egg hunt. We have it every year. We usually have it at Adams Park in Rosendale Square, but it's gotten so big and so involved that it's become a safety issue where we don't have enough space, and people are kind of spilling out onto the sidewalks and streets. So we had it at Healy Field, which is on Washington Street in Rosendale. I'm going to conservatively say we had about 700 people.
Okay.
And we gave out 8,000 eggs in a matter of seconds. Now, if you got to imagine, all these kids line up around the area, and we have a toddler area for kids 2 and under, and the other kids is for 6 and under. 3, 4, 5, and 6-year-olds. No one over 6 years old. And the great president of the city council, Michelle Wu, came by and counted down to let the kids go, and every egg was gone in about 90 seconds. Every egg was consumed and picked up. And of course, we had some left over for people that didn't get any and stuff. Then we have games, and and it was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Main Streets is awesome.
Main Streets does a great job. We're good friends with them. We're going to talk about them in a little bit. What are you doing artfully? Have you done anything? Tell me a little bit about this shoot with Miles.
Oh yes.
What are you gonna? What is it gonna? What's the concept? Is you're gonna turn into a rabbit?
Yeah. So the concept is, Klaus and I are essentially the same person. So Klaus turns into me, and I sort of find my bearings as a human, and I'm exploring the apartment as a human, and then I turn back into Klaus.
Now, does Klaus have his card? I mean, is it okay for him to be doing this kind of work?
He doesn't have a SAG card, so he doesn't have any lines.
Oh, no lines.
No lines.
That's how you get by it.
Well, if you're not with SAG, you don't have lines. It gets it's tricky.
Well, but this is a project for his school, right?
Yep, this is a project for his school.
That's great. That's great, and it's nice that you can get involved in that kind of. You do a lot of that kind of work, anyways. Right?
It's nice. I like to surround myself with people that are constantly creating. It's just it's inspiring. You know?
It is. It is to be well. Once you surround yourself with those kind of people, it brings your own creativity to a head.
Yes.
So it's something that you're going to be able to, you draw on. Mm-hmm. Not draw, but draw.
Draw from. Draw inspiration from.
Yes, that's great. Anything else going on?
Geez.
You're not gallery sitting again, are you?
No, the Mills Gallery is on a little bit of spring hiatus right now.
Okay.
So they'll be back. Their show just ended, I want to say this past weekend. So they'll be off for about a month.
Okay.
And they'll be opening back up. But of course, the Cyclorama, as always, has a ton
there's
of
always
awesome
something
events.
going on in there, yeah. Are we going to go to the dance complex?
Ooh. We should.
I mean, don't we have, isn't Mei going to be doing something over there?
Yeah, she sent me, it's at the Dance Complex in Cambridge. It's the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Is it the same, is it the place we went to last time?
It is, yep.
We should drop
Illuminary,
in. We went for the Illuminary. No, this is for the Illuminary.
No, she's not part of that.
Okay.
She's part of something else.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, the thing we went to last time was when they brought these different dance companies into the complex and kept them overnight for 24 hours and gave them subject matters and told them, write a dance routine.
Yeah.
Get choreographing and do something that is brand new.
Kept them awake for a full 24 hours.
Yeah, and filmed it.
And filmed
the whole rehearsal and streamed it live.
Yep.
And we got a great invitation to go over and watch the final product. And it was very exciting.
It was.
It was a lot of fun.
I loved it.
We should talk about maybe we should go over and see Mei and maybe take in one of those shows.
Yeah. Say hi to Mei.
Mei, hi.
Hi.
It was fun having her on last week. I am going to take this opportunity to let everybody know that we are booking the show right now. So if you're interested in being here with us and sitting and talking about your artful adventures, please go to itsallaboutarts.com and click on the link to the television program and get yourself in here to talk. Because we're right now doing a push to get some new people in here on the show, like we have tonight. We have some new guests tonight. We haven't enjoyed in the past. But this is your opportunity now to kind of jot down itsallaboutarts.com and get in here and do some artful stuff with us. Show us what you're doing. Let us know. Let the community know why you're being as artful as you are.
Yes.
Yes. And you mentioned Main Streets before, so we're going to talk for just a couple of seconds about that great. This whole thing with the egg hunt. The reason they do it is to kind of bring the community together so that people can not only get to meet each other and kind of go through an event together, but it also brings people down to kind of check out the business district in their communities.
Yes.
They do it all over the city, now all over the country. They've been doing it, and the one that we're affiliated with, Rosendale, was the first one to do it in an urban setting. And I talked to the director, the head director, and he's going to come on the show in a couple of weeks.
That's awesome.
He's going to come on and talk about some changes Main Streets are going through and some of the things that they've been doing, some of the accomplishments.
Well, they have what, like over 20 different
There's
neighborhoods
20,
now?
22 neighborhoods just in the city of Boston that they're working with. And what they do is they work with the property owner. Maybe there's an empty storefront or someone's leaving their storefront open. And they work with them with demographic information so they'll know what kind of business to put down there, what the public is looking for, that kind of thing. And then they have a design committee where artists come in and help them design, great architects, and will come in and show them how to set up the front of their store, maybe do the signage, help them with signage and stuff like that. And then the promotions committee, which runs these great events like the Egg Hunt and the Farmers Market, of course, which is one of the biggest and premier neighborhood farmers markets
in the world.
In the country. There's no question about it. It has grown and gained such popularity. We're down there every Saturday, down at Adams Park with live music. The first Saturday in June, it kicks off, and opposite people have been booked, so we got that great band. Great big band is going to play.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Okay.
Yeah, so. The other thing we like, so listen, if you see somebody out there with a Main Street t-shirt, thank them for Valerie and myself, please, because they only do it because they love their community and they support us here at BNN-TV, and we're very, very proud of our affiliation, so thank them for us, right?
Yes.
The other thing we like to talk about is this amazing building that we're in, BNN-TV. BNN-TV means Boston Neighborhood Network. And what it is, it's the cable access station. There's two of them here. There's one on Channel 9 you're watching right now. And what it is here is if you have your nonprofit and you want to talk about what your mission statement is, and you want to bring guests in to talk about what you guys are doing and stuff, this is the venue that's available for you in the city of Boston. The other side, which is Channel 23, is the station that does cable access. Let's say you join and you take final. We're going to ask you to maybe change. Can we switch the channel over to Channel 23? Is that something that we can do? Okay, listen, we're going to turn the station for you to show you what's happening over on Channel 23. We'll be back in just a couple of seconds. Don't go away.
Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, eat them up, yum. Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, eat them up, yum.
Oh, hey.
Fish heads. So over on 23, they're discussing stuff like that. But no, we make fun. And what it is it's the opportunity for you to sign out the equipment and take Final Cut Pro and sound and how to use these cameras and how to do lighting and stuff and how to set up your own programming. You go and shoot it. You bring it back here to the Timothy Smith lab down on the first floor with all the state-of-the-art computers and stuff, and edit it. And guess what? They put it on TV for you.
Shoot your local fish head.
Your fish head concert is a good one to do. But what it is it's your place to have your voice. It's where you can come and kind of do your thing. So if you're interested in doing that, you go to www.bnntv.org and click on Janice Williams or Jim Atwood's name, and they'll get you all the information that you need to do your own programming.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
Now, if you were going to do a program on Channel 23, what would your program be about?
Fish heads. It would be about fish heads.
Obviously, fish heads.
Carp.
Would you bring some
trout?
Would you bring some carp heads in with you to interview?
Kipper.
Capers.
Kipper.
What's a kipper?
Kipper's a fish.
Oh, okay. Poor thing.
Tuna.
No, really.
Bass.
What would you do?
You know, that's a good question.
I threw that at you, didn't I?
I think I'd do a show with Klaus.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
This would be your season.
This would be my season.
You'd have Klaus sitting there with you, and you'd be talking Easter.
I'd be trying to coax him with carrots. Yeah.
Those are big carrots.
He's a big boy.
Yes. Well, listen, gang, you know what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. We have a Val's View tonight?
We do.
We do. That's great. Excellent. Listen, Val's View is a great opportunity for you to find out what's going on around the city, not just with BNN-TV, but with all kinds of artful things happening around the city. It's a place where you can go and it's on the city paper, inside cover of the city paper, but we're going to have a live version right now. It's turned into a great segment of the program. So listen, gang, we're going to take a quick break, get Val set up to do Val's View. So listen, you're watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn. This is...
Valerie.
Valerie. Listen, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Please, don't go away. Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot for hanging in there with us. You're watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I'm your host. A couple of things to remind you of, please. This show will be up on our YouTube station in just a very few couple of days. If you go to your station and put in the search engine, It's All About Arts, and the number 1, it'll get you to the great shows we've been doing here with BNN, the great staff of BNN, and Val and I have been so fortunate to be here doing our live program every Monday night for you. And the other thing, please go to our Facebook page and like us. We're growing very quickly there. One of the things that, the thing about that page is that there's more things than just what's going on in this program. There's things about what are going on all around the country, all around our area as well, has to do with art. So it's not just about this television station. It's a great resource for what's going on artfully around everywhere. So, but right now, the segment we're going to go to now is called Val's View, and we're very, very proud of the way this has been working out for us. It's now become a staple of the program, and it is also on the inside cover of the Boston City newspaper every week. But right now, it's time for another great episode, great version, great segment, Val's View.
Well, thanks, Glenn. You always give me such good introductions. So we have a couple fun things coming up on the calendar in the next few weeks in and around Boston. First off, we have Walk MS. It's going on Sunday, April 3rd from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Boston University's Nickerson Field. Now, this is a wonderful event that helps raise funds and awareness for multiple sclerosis. The route's about 3.5 miles long, and the event raises over $2.5 million each year. And that's all funds that go to help support research and programs that help families and people that have MS. So you can form a team with friends, you can join in the walk, or you can just go down and show your support. Anyone's welcome to participate, so definitely check that out if you're around. Second on our list, we have Boston Design Week. That's going on March 30th to April 10th. So you have a few days to pick from if you're not sure which day you'd like to check out. Boston Design Week seeks to provide public awareness for appreciation of all aspects of design. It's going on all over the city, all different locations, galleries, vendors, everywhere, all the neighborhoods. From architecture to landscape to fashion, visual arts, everything. Almost everything is subject to some sort of design. And Boston Design Weeks likes to show appreciation and show people a little bit of behind the scenes of what goes into those designs. So there's going to be lots of different vendors that are participating. There's going to be talks and lectures, and there's going to be tours. So go online to check out the calendar to see which days or which events you'd like to participate in. And third on our list, we have the MFA thesis exhibition. It's going on April 19th to May 7th at Mass College of Art and Design. So the MFA thesis exhibition showcases unique and beautiful works of selected graduate students who are in their final year of their respected programs, as well as candidates for the MFA degree. So admission is free and open to the public, so anyone can join or anyone can go and visit and check out the works. You'll get to see some new and upcoming artists. It's going on over lots of different galleries on the campus. So check out online and see which artists you'd like to see, maybe which mediums you're interested in, and see some of the wonderful artists that Boston College of Art and Design is producing. So I hope you get to check out some of those events going on in and around the city. Spring is kicking off. There are going to be more and more events going on. Definitely lots more open studios coming up soon too. It's always my pleasure to bring to you the fun events that are going on in and around the city. But without further ado, I'm going to shoot it right back over to Glenn and introduce our first guest of the evening. Back to you, Glenn.
Well, thank you, Val. That was great as usual. Those are always very timely events that are going on around the city of Boston and New England area, and it's a great opportunity for you to kind of check out what's going on. And like I said, it's on the inside page of the city paper. But right now, it's my great pleasure and honor to introduce you to Thomas Reale. Hello, Thomas.
Hey, Glenn.
How are you? Welcome to the station.
Excellent. Thanks for having me.
No problem. You are a photographer.
I am.
And you've been kind of out there, not very long. You've been taking
This is
photographs.
coming on a year. I've been taking photographs for years.
Yeah, yeah.
But about a year ago, I sold my first prints and started put myself out there
That'll
and
do
believe
it.
in it. And I've been getting myself out
Talk
there.
a little bit about that. Being so fresh, kind of out there in the public with what you're doing, where it was an entertainment type thing for yourself and kind of a resource for yourself just to kind of get out there and take some pictures and enjoy them. What made you cross the line and say, look, it's time. I think it's time.
Well, to be honest, I got laid off from my full-time job a year and a half ago.
Yep.
And I was given this great opportunity to kind of redefine myself and explore myself.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, you don't often get an opportunity like that. I don't think, because you just work so hard. You know, you got to work, pay the bills. But I had an opportunity.
Great.
And I decided to go for it. And
That's
I figured,
great.
you know, I don't want to waste the opportunity. And so I started putting myself out there and getting responses.
Right.
And I just, you know, it just built upon itself.
Right. And now you're associated with the great Campus Fine Arts.
Yes, Suzanne.
Suzanne
Schultz is awesome.
Yeah, she
She's
does a lot of
fantastic.
great things here in the community. She's worked with us here for years, and it's always been the quality of the artists and stuff that she's brought to the table here.
I'm a very
has
lucky
always
man.
have always been top notch, and it's great that you're associated with that group of people, because they're doing some. You're going to be showing very soon in a room that I did not too long ago
Liberty
at the
Hotel.
Liberty Hotel.
Yes, next Tuesday.
The old prison.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It's a great room.
Yes,
I
it
love
is.
it. I love it.
Well, it's kind of like wide out in the open,
Yeah,
and you kind of put your pieces. How many pieces are you putting up there?
Probably around 10.
10?
Yeah.
Now, this is the old Charles Street Jail. It's the Liberty
Yes.
Hotel now, which is down...
Right next to MGH.
Right, the end of the Store Drive there.
Leverett Circle?
Leverett, there it is.
Circle?
That's
yeah.
it, right.
Yeah. It's a cool space.
It is a cool space. We have a lot of people that kind of watch the show that will be asking some of the questions I'm going to try and drag out of you now. Okay?
All right.
Is that all right?
That's fine.
Have you been following the college basketball at all? No, I'm all.
I used to. This season, I've been really busy. I just haven't, you know.
Well, yes, you have.
Plus, UConn men's, you know, they used to be really good.
They're out of it, forget it.
You know, the women's are still good, though. I think the women will repeat
They're
again.
favored by 50 points tonight.
They're pretty
That's
amazing.
insane.
The women are incredible.
Do you always carry? When you're out, do you set yourself a time to go out and shoot? Is there something that you kind of say, this part of the day is when I want to shoot this week, or is there a carry?
Well, you know,
shoot?
it actually depends on where I am.
Yeah.
If I'm traveling, sunrise, of course.
Yeah.
Sunset, of course. You know, late day. I mean, the colors are just in the shadows.
Yeah.
Light is amazing. But I always, you know, I take 95% of my pictures, maybe even 98, on my iPhone,
That's
on my
amazing.
i5.
That's amazing.
Because it's just, you know, I love using my Canon, but it's kind of big and bulky and carry around. But you know, with my iPhone, it's in my pocket. I need it all the time, anyways. So it's just
So
nice.
that's your point and shoot. I mean,
That's my
if you,
point and
if
shoot,
you see
basically,
something
yeah.
that you want to
Yeah.
take, and it's
Yeah.
like at the moment, you have that.
And that's why like I said, most of my pictures are on my
Has
iPhone.
the accessibility of that kind of equipment kind of changed the way that you approach being a photographer? I mean, you're always on now.
Always on,
Yeah.
always on, and there's always, you know, what's great is, you know, before my iPhone, if I'd be walking around, it's like I see a shot and I didn't have my camera with me. I'm like, I missed a great shot.
It's gone.
Now I have my iPhone. It's like, oh, kunk, kunk.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, where you've been a photographer, and I'm going to call you that. You're a photographer.
I'm a photographer.
Yeah, for many more years than you've actually put yourself out there. Did you go through the analog switch from analog to 35 millimeter to digital?
Yeah.
Did you come through screaming and kicking, or was it an easy transition for you?
Yes and no. A friend of mine lent me her digital for a trip I took to Italy years ago, and once I did that, I never went, I never went back. And then once I got my iPhone, I was like,
it just made it all the more easier.
Yeah, this is just perfect.
Yeah. Now, when you do take pictures, and are you working on a what kind of computer do you like to work with? Are you on a Mac or a PC or?
I'm not that technical, but
That's all right.
I have an Asus laptop, which I like. I like a lot, and
it's all about what you enjoy working on. It has nothing to do with.
But
really.
yeah, so after I take all my pictures, I download them to my to my computer and do post production, or I can do a lot of post production right on my iPhone.
Yeah, there's lots of apps that they make available now for you to kind of alter and change your. When you're taking a picture, we're going to look at some of your work in just a couple of minutes. But when you're out taking a photograph, do you take it with the knowledge that I'm going to be able to fix whatever's wrong with this picture? I mean, we couldn't do that back in the day, you know, with your Rolleiflex. You couldn't do it.
Not so much.
You know,
not so much.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because I see, like, say, if I'm walking, you know, the streets of Boston, and the architecture in the city is just so amazing. So if I see the light just hitting something just right, I'm like, because it's not all the some pictures I take, they don't need anything. Yeah. You know, I'm lucky enough where they're just perfect. I'll just do a little cropping a little bit to make it look better. But some pictures you do. I like the post-production because you can play with, you can get different images, different feelings of it, And
you can combine them too sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. I do that. I layer some apps sometimes just to, and it's fun.
Boston might be beautiful, but it's not the coast road down off the West Coast, though. You just had that trip, didn't you?
Yeah, I just came back last week and drove down 101 Oregon to San Francisco, and that
beautiful.
was beautiful.
Isn't it breathtaking?
Tremendous.
Did you forget your camera?
I would have had to come back.
I would have had you to return for that. Well, listen, why don't we take a look at some of your work? Let's bring it up, and you can walk me through some of the things we're looking at.
Okay.
This is a great piece.
I actually love this one. I said I used to work in Charlestown. Yeah. And I worked in Charleston for 2 years, actually, and I would walk from South Station to the Navy Yard in Charleston. It's about 2 mile walk. I like the exercise, and I love walking. Boston's a great walkable city.
Sure.
But this is this little ice cream shop on Endicott Street in the North End, and I would walk by here twice a day, and I was like, I want to get someone in the door. But I wanted to make sure that they weren't looking at me. I don't want to get too posed, or I don't want to intrude upon someone's privacy by taking a picture of them. Right. But I was walking, and that guy was there, and then he got up off the chair and turned around, and it was a perfect shot. Yeah. And I was to play with a couple laps, a couple layered, and I just really happy with the end product.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, and that's on Washington Street.
Doing?
That's actually that's a sidewalk. That's the Paramount sign on Washington Street.
Is it raining or?
Yeah, it's raining. It's raining. It's rain, and I kind of cropped it. almost made it kind of abstract a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
I just loved it. There's a little, that little white dot in the middle on the right-hand side is actually a cigarette butt, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Not on the street.
Not on the street of Boston, no. But I just love it. It was the reflection in the sidewalk was pretty cool, I thought. That's in the North End, and that's in Paul Revere Park. And I just, when I shot it, I saw the sun rays, coming in from the top right of my lens.
It's amazing.
But I shot it anyways, and I love the effect of it. And,
Did you put the rainbow in?
No, the rainbow was there.
Wow.
Yeah, the rainbow came out in the shot, which is pretty cool. But I just used a little contrasting app and just kind of contrasted things a bit more, kind of give it a grain. Yep.
Okay.
And most of my prints are on. Oh, I love that one. That's one of my favorite Paris pictures, and that's just I was meandering along like I love to do, and this little kid was just running around this art installation, and it was just a great shot. It was just perfect timing. He was just having a blast.
Okay. Good time for a couple more.
That's in Portland, Oregon.
My daughter's in Portland, Oregon.
Did you really?
Yeah, no, my daughter's there. Yeah.
Oh, no
that's where
way.
she lives.
Oh, awesome. It's a great set.
Did you see her while you were out there?
Yeah, we passed each other. Maybe she bought my first 3 prints. That's actually one of my first prints that I sold.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and that's just walking in an alleyway, and I love graffiti.
Yeah.
I just think it's it can be so cool.
Sure.
And it's art, So I just shot that door, and I loved it.
Okay, we got time for one more, I think.
Okay. That's on the red line. That's on the red line. Heading back home to Dorchester, where I live, and I always like standing up near the door.
Yeah.
And I just love the shot, the way the sun was shining, and
That's
the
amazing.
shadows and the people.
My kids at school are doing a study of that angle in a train station for 2-point perspective. It's just great, isn't it?
I love it. Yeah, and it's just that's what it's all about. It's just like catching the moment and just seeing it and shooting it.
Where are you going to be showing? You got a couple of shows coming up. We need to know about.
So
the Liberty next Tuesday.
The Liberty next Tuesday.
Yep.
I'm in process to be showing at the Boston Common Coffee Roasters on Salem Street.
Yeah.
We try to figure out a time when the current artist is taking his stuff down, so I can put my stuff up there.
Those artists, they're always in the way, aren't they?
I have a meeting tomorrow with a gallery owner from Provincetown.
That's exciting.
About getting in there, which would be really, really cool.
Thomas, you'll let us know where you're showing so we can let people know where they can go and see you. Thomas, thank you very much.
Awesome
Thomas
talking
Reale,
to you.
I
Thanks,
appreciate
Glenn. I
having
appreciate
you here
it.
on the show. Let's
It
not
was
be
exciting.
a stranger, okay?
Definitely.
Welcome back anytime. Listen,
Thanks,
gang, hold on, Tom, hold on. You're watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts. Listen, this is Glenn. We'll be back with our next guest in just a real quick second. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot for hanging out with us. You're watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams. I'm your host. We're coming to you live from our beautiful studios here at Studio B, actually, at Boston Neighborhood Network. And you're more than welcome to join us. We're at 617-708-3290 is the telephone number if you want to give us a blast and let us know what's going on. But right now, it's my great pleasure and an honor to introduce you to Landon Richmond. Hello, Landon.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Thanks an awful lot, and welcome back, Valerie.
Oh,
I
hey, how you doing?
don't want to say I want to miss you. Thank you very much for coming in and spending some time with us. I really do appreciate it. You are a painter.
I am a painter.
Now, what I like to do with painters, I like to ask them if you were designing a website and there's a drop-down menu with the different genres and different kinds of painters there are, abstract, portrait, da-da-da, and you had to pick a category for yourself, what would you land yourself into the kind of painter you are, besides fabulous?
I don't even know if I would choose fabulous, but I would definitely choose surrealist.
Surrealist. Can you explain that a little bit for me so that
Absolutely.
our friends at home will understand?
Well, surrealism, I'm trying to depict aspects of the consciousness through changing reality with the painting. You know,
Okay.
Dali, he was interested in the subconscious, the stuff that's behind our mind that comes out when we're sleeping or dictates our personality behind the scenes. I'm more interested in the existential, the things that are right in front of our mind that we're thinking about when we're walking down the sidewalk that dictates our decisions based out of joy or fear or lust, desire, any of that.
Yeah. And how long have you been painting?
It's my first memory.
Since your first memory?
Oh, yeah. It was a great week.
It was a great week. Has it always been this kind of surrealism that you've been working on?
Absolutely. I always had a darker aesthetic, even when I was a kid. And it wasn't because I saw something that's like, oh, I like that. It's just what came out.
Yep.
And when you're a kid and you're drawing stuff like that, you don't have the understanding. You don't have the abstract part of your brain that's formed. So, of course, to everyone around me, they were horrified. And that was my first reaction I had with art, was fear.
Your first art teachers kind of had a problem?
All of them did.
Yeah, I'm sure we did.
All of them had a problem.
You know something? But those are the kids that I get drawn to because they're thinking. You know, they're not just drawing flowers in the field. You know, they're giving them meaning and they're exposing themselves to the people that are going to be viewing their work.
Yes.
What's your medium?
My medium is mostly acrylic, but I also use charcoal, spray paint. I've done a little bit of oil painting. More or less, I'll mess with anything, and right now especially, I'm trying to do as many new things as I can because you got to keep creating exciting.
Yeah.
Never routine.
Do you have a dedicated space to work?
I do.
Well, that's very fortunate.
Yes, it is, because I'm very chaotic when I paint. A lot of times, without meaning to, or sometimes meaning to, break things or just get paint everywhere.
Yep.
I want that freedom. I don't want to be restrained in any sort of way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I paint in my gallery, but that makes too much of a mess.
It's also really important, I think, for artists to come back to a space the way they left it. You know, especially if are you working on multiple pieces at a time?
Well, I disagree with that completely. I want
You
the
do?
space to be different when I
Okay.
leave. I want there's evidence of, and a history and a reminder and a memory of that painting, of that point in life. Yeah, the
Well,
memories.
how do you create a different atmosphere then when you come back? Do you do anything before you leave or before you get there?
Well, lately I've been trying to really get into the atmosphere of whatever theme the series I am is working on. You know,
Okay.
sometimes if it requires me to cover the windows and hang an Edison bulb from the ceiling while playing the most distressful music I can, then that's what I'll do.
Okay. And when you come back, or are you finishing pieces?
Once the series is done, I change it.
You do?
Constant evolution.
Okay. And when you consider a series, when do you know you're done with that series?
Typically, with each series I do, I try to keep it at 4 because I
Okay.
do one a month.
Okay.
So more than 4 paintings, it becomes a little bit too much to deal with, and I want the quality. But if the series story, because each series, it's all about storytelling through art, requires more paintings, then I do more.
Do you stick at a piece until you're finished with it?
More or less, usually. Sometimes I will put it aside and work on a different piece if it just seems like.
But in the same series, you're keeping
Yes.
yourself in the same atmosphere.
Well, I did the series Trust, and I started with, I wanted to go through one by one how the story was I wanted to tell it. But the hardest painting to do was Trust Given. And that was the second painting in the series, but the one I finished last. And I think it's poetic that Trust Given was the hardest painting to do, just like it's the hardest thing to do with trust.
Yeah. How difficult is it to separate yourself?
There is no separation.
What if I buy one of your paintings?
Then, well, you still have me, and it still exists, and it doesn't stop being me, but now you have it.
Okay, but you can give it up.
Of course, you got to send your children to college, don't you?
You do. That's where I was going. Okay, so it is part of you, and it is a offspring.
Yes, in a lot of ways.
Are your paintings adventures, or do you kind of know where you're going to end up after that month?
Of course, they're adventures, and there's a destination I want to go to, but I don't know how that destination is until I get there.
Okay. Okay, what size are your pieces?
They range, I'd say on average 36 by 48, but I go all the way up to 72 by 72 to 9 by 12. No smaller than 9 by 12.
Right.
There's no freedom, at least for me.
When you're in a series, you use trust.
I've done trust. My latest series was phobias.
Okay, let's look at phobias. Okay.
Absolutely.
When you're working in that, how long will you paint? Will you paint until it's just it's time to stop right now? Not done, not finished. Just physically, it's time to stop.
Yeah, and I try to do another hour or two after my body gives out.
Do you?
There's something. I mean, in painting surrealism, you got to bend the rules of reality, and sometimes exhaustion can be incredibly helpful as much as it can be detrimental. I mean, there are times where you realizing, wait, every brush stroke I'm doing is wrong. That's when you need to step away, no matter how much it hurts.
Okay. So you can't come back and say, I went too far.
I always like to go too far. That's the point.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. Well, does going too far sometimes change the concept of what you're trying to say originally? Does it change? Can you change
Then I didn't
it?
go far enough.
Really? Explain that.
Because, for example, when I was doing the phobia series, I wanted to explore something, which was not individual phobias, but more or less what transcends that to what a phobia is, irrational fear. And I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't know where it would take me. And the last painting that I did for that series, it wasn't expected and it wasn't what I was imagining I would end up at, but that's where it took me. And that's where the story goes, and which will be continued in the series I do afterwards. Each series that I do, it's storytelling, but it also leads me into the next series. I don't have them pre-planned until I finish the last painting.
Right. Let's stay with phobias for a second.
Sure.
Are they your phobias, or are you pulling definitions out of a hat?
Well, I didn't paint any phobias like arachnophobia or anything like that, but more so, like I said, I mean, all the phobias, they have this commonality in it, which is it's irrational. Rather than, like when you see a spider, you may jump 50 feet in the air if you're arachnophobic. But if you're not, you'll remember that the spider is the size of a nickel and you can easily...
Right.
So how do we turn irrational fear rational? That was my goal when doing the series.
I see.
And I've got a lot of insight and wisdom from that experience that I carry on with me. But the last painting ended up being titled Battle Monsters to Become a Monster, become more fearful than what frightens you. But at what cost? How does that change you?
Right.
And it did change me.
Do you find, that's my next point, is as you're doing these paintings, are you finding them affecting you?
100%. And a lot like method acting, I create this atmosphere that affects every aspect of my life, even when I'm not painting. With phobias, I experimented with sleep deprivation. I self-induced anxiety attacks through music, imagery, looking at my to-do list. And it wasn't until I couldn't keep myself together and I wanted to tear myself apart, that's when I would paint. And my phobia is sleep, so it made it easy to not sleep. But when I did, sometimes the paintings were in there, my dreams, and they were haunting me. And it wasn't until I finished the painting they would go away. And even after the series, I was having a lot of horrible nightmares, and I never dream when I do sleep. And I saw that it did change, and I'm still figuring out how I'm handling that change. It's exciting.
That's good. You're living.
I'm living.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at some of your work. Is that okay?
That would be wonderful.
Okay, good.
It's like I'm a painter or something. So this painting is called Fish It Out. And the idea with this goes back to when I was mentioning if you didn't have that irrational fear of the spider, you would recognize what it is. So the blue figure on the right, that's supposed to represent us, showing us being fearsome, more frightening than what would normally scare us. And the figure on the left, on one angle, may look like a bird skull with teeth, but if you look harder, it's just a harmless goldfish. And it was no accident that was made yellow.
Okay.
And this was actually made as a collaborative effort with Stephanie Saunders, who was a previous guest on the show.
Yes.
We wanted to go abstract on there, and this painting was the second in the series after I'd already finished another one, and I was pretty deep in what I called the cave, what I turned my studio into. I covered all the windows with tin foil, as I was mentioning earlier. I taped an Edison bulb from the ceiling. And we were painting, and I noticed that Stephanie was holding back. So I stomped on her toe with bare feet, and she was shocked. I said, "Good, use that, use your brush." And she got mad at me, so I stomped on her foot again and said, "Use it," and locked her in there. And she was mad, but she used her brush differently. And it took her a little while to understand that. And I know it's strange behavior, but she used her brush differently, and it was amazing.
That's great.
And then I painted over a lot of it.
Okay, next.
So this is not related to a series, but something that I had going on during a relationship going south. Sometimes your heart really wants something while your gut's screaming at you, don't do it. And it's like we stop focusing on reality because we want it to be a certain way, because our heart wants it and it aches for it. So I have this figure, and from their chest, all these hearts with wings are coming out. And the two hearts that look more realistic, and I purposely made them not completely realistic, because no heart's ever completely realistic, but they're avoiding the hooks, while the heart that's unrealistic gets hit. And you can see that it's not this comforting thing, it's painful. And it's like almost grabbing and shaking to where feathers are flying out. And it says very softly in the figure, which one will it be this time? And as you can see, their hands are hooks, because these hooks are from other people. And the figure has multiple hearts, because we're able to love many times, and sometimes that love is more realistic than others.
That's great. Okay.
This is appropriately the first painting I did when I opened my gallery on Newbury Street. And a lot of people mistake this as hopelessness, as suicide or something like that, but it's actually the opposite. It's called Take a Shot, and it's a play off the word take a shot, because there's the gun, but also the shot glass holding a bullet. And the idea is, in the distance, with these clouds of darkness dripping down, is the city, where everyone's living by the routine, but this figure has gotten away from that, off the normal path into the rough course of what they're trying to accomplish. And as you can see, she is not standing. She's crawling, because it was a difficult journey, but she's still going towards this opportunity to do something. And she has no eyes, because we're always blind to the outcome. But still, you gotta crawl towards it and take that shot. And the funny thing is, I wanted to have it where just before she reaches out for it, because you can get that far and then not do it. And that little shot glass, that opportunity, it'll drift away from you until it's out of your reach. And you'll never be able to reach it again, but you'll see it for the rest of your life.
That's great. Okay.
This is called The High Horse. I had a very turbulent 2014, and I had a lot of things happen that really let me down. And I remember thinking how quickly everything that you were working on can completely fall apart. And over that year, I built myself back up and was able to accomplish everything I was trying to do. And I had this important revelation, and depicted that in the painting, where there are knives in the back, but from the heart bloom flowers. And everything that happened, all the people, things that went wrong or betrayed you, those too are in the past, fading away like a dead memory. And in the present, you plant the seeds which bloom in the future.
Great.
And the horns represent that we may be demonized or whatnot, but you can smile to yourself. This is from the Trust series. It was the third painting in the series. And it's called Trust Broken. And I wanted to show what it feels like just in those first couple of moments, and you realize something that had grown has now withered and died. And it goes from what was once blooming to wither away, and you try to hold yourself together and you can't. And with all the swirling memories, you can't sleep at night, and you go up and down through your day until you feel distorted and empty. But things bloom again, and you stand back up.
That's great. This will be the last one. We have time for this one.
Yeah, this is the first painting in the Phobia series. And it's called It Lives Inside You. And that's where fear is. It's not outside of you, it's in you. And I was very inspired by Goya and Edward Munch's The Scream. And this painting, I achieved one of the high points in my career, where I was painting and someone walked in and unintentionally screamed in terror. And that's when I knew the painting was done.
You got your work, yeah.
But yeah, fear lives inside of us, so we can take it out.
I love how in your images, how much you take emotions and you take the sense of really pushing boundaries and almost putting yourself in the most uncomfortable positions that you can be to grow as a person and as an artist. And I think that's really admirable, and you take it to this whole another level where it really comes through in your artwork. It's amazing.
Thank you. It's important to me.
Well, I think taking your raw feelings and actually, making physical sacrifices for yourself for your work is huge too. Where's your gallery?
My gallery is on Newbury Street. It's 228 Newbury Street, and
it's a nice block.
It is. I started selling my artwork on the sidewalk there about a decade ago after I dropped out of college, and it was the goal to one day have a gallery where I was on the sidewalk. So it was a ground up sort of thing, literally.
You made your way up the stairs, or is it downstairs on Newbury Street?
It's no, it's ground level,
Ground
not
level.
downstairs. It's a great location.
Do you have any shows coming up we need to know about?
I do. I have an art talk that's happening for phobias. It's going to be happening April 7th. We'll be giving away free hot dogs and red wine, and we're having a contest where the first person to throw up from that combination gets a free painting.
That's awesome.
After that, Brush and Blade 2, which I'm doing with Sandy Poirier from Shag Salon. It's a follow-up from last year's show. And then I have the anniversary show of the gallery, May 28th, called Identities. And it's going to continue the story.
I think we're going to come by for the anniversary. I'd love to come by and see you. And I want to thank you for coming in.
My pleasure.
And no, it's been our pleasure. We don't generally get to talk as raw to an artist as you've portrayed yourself tonight. I thank you very much for showing us the inside part.
Absolutely.
I think the inside part is the part that lots of people don't often get an opportunity to see and meet. And the mission here is for people to meet you.
Yeah, the less you have to hide, the less you have to be afraid of.
Please. Are you writing this down, someone? Landon, thank you very much for being here, pal. I really do appreciate it. Listen, we're running out of time. That's the end. The end of the show. Will you say goodnight with us? There you go. Listen, gang, thanks an awful lot for being here. Valerie, of course, great. Thank you very much for being here. It's my favorite hour of the week.
Mine too.
Listen, gang, thanks an awful lot for being here with us. Get out there and do something artful for yourself. Stroll around, get into a gallery, buy some paints, throw them on some canvas, and have some fun. That's the idea. And like we like to say every week, please keep in the forefront of your minds. Our daughter was in Paris this past week, and it was very scary getting her home. But please keep in the forefront of your minds. Our mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews on foreign soil. Please do everything for them for now. Do something artful for them, and we'll see you next week, okay? All right, thanks, Landon. Bye-bye now.